And I'm here. Sorry for the 2 minutes of a delay. Had to get something to drink for the stream. I don't know how long I'm gonna be streaming. Probably an hour and a half at the very least. Maybe 2 hours, something around that. It's late, that's gonna be the last thing I'm gonna do today. Then I'm just headed off to bed. But I do have to go through Stultifera Navis to get to the farming stages, essentially. Okay, Spectre, I'm glad I have you, but you're talking a little bit much. Yeah, as you can see, Spectre the Unchained, I have the exact opposite of streamer luck, essentially, as it turns out, because I got her during my daily pool today of stream. Every single limited character I got from daily pools. I would spend my entirety of a random NOPs, and then I would get them from a daily pool. And Spectre the Unchained is no exception to that rule. Okay, shut up now. And also, I'm gonna have to clear Undertides if I want to get the proper background for her. Yeah, because the rest doesn't really fit. Cloudy, okay, Cloudy I get for 9.19. Nighttime I guess works. Vacation, it's a sea theme. Now sure, it's not Iberia. It's not siesta, it's dos soles. But still, sea is sea. Right, I'm gonna grab the stuff from the base first. Okay, let me... Someone's fatigued. Okay, people add the HQ. No, I don't want doubles. That should do the trick. Snow Sand and Adanakiel. How about Orchid? Silver Ash and Matoimaru. Instead of Wild Mane, Fartooth. Frostleaf, Ashlog, Vigna, Steward. And we can rest them up. Yeah, you all go to rest. And in those dorms, the other 5. Perfect. Nope, reception. Thank you, whoever sent the clue. Okay. That's that. I'm gonna start with... do I have enough for a 10 pool? No, I have enough for half a 10 pool. I kinda want Irene, but if I can't get her, then oh well. Right. Stultifera Navis. As I said, we are 39% through Gran Faro. And then there's like 2 more areas, I'm assuming EX stages and something else. And I just noticed I didn't switch from the intro scene. Okay, yeah, my bad. So to sum it up, again, I got... where is she? Where is she? There she is. Spectre the Unchained. Got her off stream from a daily pool, as is usual for me for whatchamacallem. For limited operators, always get them from daily pools. I could spend 50 pools worth of randoms and OPs and whatnot, only to get the character, the operator from a daily pool. And now, Gran Faro. Where were we? Story stage. That's where we were. Hello, Irene. Along the uninhabited street, travelers from afar now sing. Observe. Observe we shall. Irene? Yes, maestro. I mean, sir. You seem distracted. I'm fine. Gran Faro is a tiny town, so small that most maps don't even bother to list it. But this is a request from Lord Carmen himself, and it involves Dr. Kelsey and those Aegir. I know, sir. If you still haven't found your answer, I will not give you permission to join the mission. I'd already made up my mind when I first decided to follow in your footsteps and become an Inquisitor. Yes, before you even knew the question, an answer is worthless if it cannot explain what you see and hear. Don't die a worthless death, Irene. You know what we're fighting against, and you must find your own answer. Yes, sir. Hello, Gladia. Lady Kelsey. Gladia's tone does not change, but her footsteps reflect her mood. A blink of the eye, and she's by Kelsey's side. Good work, Gladia. The Inquisition didn't do anything to you, did they? The fact that Iberia has not yet sunk into the seas proves that they still retain a shred of humility and vigilance. You found a way, as promised. Yes, however, even if Iberia is willing to let go of their fears, what about Aegir? What about you? If this temporary cooperation is necessary to help us return to the ocean, so be it. Finally, an Aegir with some sense, right? Like the waves themselves, like the race and texture of the sea. Hello there, Special Aegir. I believe you've already met our other members. Yes, you're also a member of the AUS. Alti, bassist, nice to meet you. How are things outside? The cultists are out in force, but individually they're rather weak. My hunters can't take care of everything. The Inquisition will only work with us once we've taken care of the problem in Gran Faro. Then there's no time to waste. Gladia raises her lance. At the same time, she senses that something is not right. There, among the sea terrors, but how could it be? Kelsey here. Dr. Kelsey, their goal is... Elysium? What's the matter? One of our operators is in trouble. Something lurks here. As we discussed, Alti, the members of AUS can stay ashore. We'll handle this as quickly as possible. Sure, we can wait. And we'll be happy to provide some BGM for your campaign. That's nice. They have BGM already there. Too weak. They keep coming, buying time, or spreading something. I must find the leader. Spectre? Ah, Skadi. Long time no see. Something the matter? Are you alright? I'm fine, just a little tired. Yes, we're fighting, right? The scent of the ocean reminds me of home. But home? My home, huh? The sea. The scent of the sea grows stronger. Are we home, Skadi? Is this the way home? It will be, Spectre. Laurentina. I promise. Tell me then, what's that before my eyes? What? A figure strides down the street, humming a tune. The streets are a mess in the aftermath of the panicking townsfolk, but it hardly bothers Frost as she plucks at the air and imagines music. The sitters keep away from her. No, they ignore her. Is she playing an instrument? Does it sound nice? I don't know. Then ask. Wait. Did I shake him? Damn it. Was it when we first met? No, he didn't even touch me. Those documents must be destroyed, Iberian. Obey and you may keep your limbs attached if you prefer. Shit, he's fast. Weren't your friends only burning them because there wasn't time to save them all? With your skills, you could just as easily have taken them yourself, so why the need to burn them? Friends. The man growls from the bottom of his throat, a sound born of humiliation. We are not friends. Then what? It doesn't concern you. Surrender the documents and leave this place. Whether you're with the Inquisition or with another country. He stopped? Yes, you've always been sharp. The mysterious Aegir gazes into the distance. Friends. We may be bound by blood, but you must stay away from Aegir for now. Elysium evades the attack, but it's immediately clear why he managed to. The sword's aura rips the charred papers to shreds, sending the splintered truth drifting into the wind. Crap. They cannot return to Aegir just yet. Allowing everyone to act on their own will only accelerate the destruction. Even though Aegir has already chosen the path of self-annihilation. No more Sea-Terrors approach. Unsurprising numbers for the coast. Now, where are you hiding? You... No, the lantern. Not the lantern. Answer me. What do you intend for Grandfather? That lantern. Get it off me. Answer me. It's... What are you pointing at? Carmen looks back in the direction that the cultist is indicating. The ship? I'm assuming the golden ship, the Stultifera Navis? No, the monument in the middle of the city. A statue stands in the middle of the square. Ah, Grandfather, the great lighthouse. Of course, you're seeking the lighthouse of Grandfather. Stop it, The nobles once called those great monuments the Eye of Iberia. Dozens of them once stood on Iberia's coastline. Even had the Witch King's tower in Lithuania not been toppled, it would still have been dwarfed by these guardians of the sea. They are the single greatest mark that human civilization has ever left on this land. The sea, the Eye of Iberia, the miracle, destroy the sacrilege. Take the lantern away. The profound silence destroyed most of the lighthouses and disabled the rest. What are you plotting? I see. So you knew. You knew that one remained operational, that the goal of the Grandfather project was to protect what was left of the Eye of Iberia. That's why you've been lurking here, awaiting your chance. You... I never expected there to be traitors in the very heart of the Inquisition. Where are they? Ha! Well, you're here, babbling away. Look under your feet and come face to face with your pathetic, narrow-mindedness. What? Unsettling, slithering sounds. Huh. The Sea-Terrors are glowing? What is this luminescence? Get away from it. Monitor? Impatient growling. Meltdown. Agitated roars. Is it monitor or is it monster? I know that people call it monster, but it has the number 3, not in the right way to be called monster. It would have to be a 5 to be called monster. I don't know. I guess I'm gonna be using monster, monitor, well, whatever. You know what I'm gonna be referring to. Hello. Peaceful riff. There's a familiar scent on you. Do you know what it is? Spirited riff. A pleasant melody, but not the one I know. That I know. Then, how does the one you know go? When she prayed, the stars ceased to shimmer. When she wept, the night let out a smile. When she laments, the anguish sprawled upon her madness. A song of Aegir, a sad song, but I don't like it. It belongs in the past. It lacks passion and wallows in futile sentimentality, the same as Aegir itself. A shame. You've come home, Aegir. Home? Me? Sing. In song you will rediscover yourself. Song? What memories will singing recall? Just sing. You will encounter your past. You must eventually find and face your destiny, or it will find you. That's how it has ever been since I left the ocean. With a strange woman. But I don't mind singing. Then sing. La la la, la la la. When she prays, the stars cease to shimmer. As always, there's such sorrow in your song. Who are you? I never imagined we'd meet again in such circumstances, Laurentina. Okay, so she knows Spectre. Somehow. And that was a very short story node. Warped mailbox. A warped mailbox with a strange device crammed into it. The words Wilderness Survival Module printed on the side of Inegirian, seemingly slotting into a little handy. Who put it here? And what message are they trying to send? To whom? Doctor, here's your newly obtained module. You can inspect it in a little handy. Active modules can assist us in better combating the Seaborn. Carry on exploring and you get hands on even more. Okay. Melee operators have more healing effectiveness, or ranged operators gain max HP and more defense. I'm gonna give some healing to melee, I guess. I'm using a lot of thorns, a lot of mountain. I guess I'm gonna be using Spectre. All of them have self-healing, so giving them healing effectiveness seems like a good way. The Wilderness Survival Module component will help you in your little handy stave off the pernicious fangs that dwell in the seabeds of trouble, or even in the poisoned slings and arrows of fate's outrageous fortune. Citizens of Aegir who need to visit the outside and challenge the unknown land, do not forget to bring this along. Seriously, how's this assortment of pulleys and thin wires supposed to keep people alive in the wilderness? Just stick it on and it'll work? Apparently so. Penal Battalion Forward Base or Quiet Trail. I'm gonna go with the Quiet Trail. Okay. Until the forward base finds a way to deal with the Nethersea brand, it is inadvisable to rush ahead through this area. Gotcha. Combat! Hell yeah. Oh, it's tutorial. Yeah, it's a tutorial. 0 sanity, no rewards. Okay, and I can adjust little handy here as well. That's gonna be useful. Cardigan? Okay, just cardigan. So we're gonna learn about the sea brand, or whatever it's called. I'm assuming. Because some of the enemies have some special properties when they're on sea brand. I'm assuming this is the sea brand, the glowing net-like thing. We're holding a special training drill today, focused on upcoming enemies and combat environments we'll likely be facing. Though this is only a simulated battlefield based on frontline information provided by the Inquisition, it must be taken seriously. Well, what are those weakling tiles? That is Nethersea brand. Some scholars are calling it a unique oceanic life form, but we still don't have too much information at present. Watch. Watch. Okay, it's spreading. Gotcha. This unusually shaped organism will spread to all adjacent tiles at fixed intervals. Can I stop it from spreading? Shoot, it spread under the enemy's feet. Be careful, some enemies can deal increased nervous impairment when on Nethersea brand. So it would seem. Can I, like... Instructor Doberman, the brand spread to me. I can sort of hear the slippy noise. Take care. Nethersea brand will deal arts damage and nervous impairment to any operators deployed on its tiles. Can I retreat, please? It feels like my shoes are gonna melt and I can't stand up. Deploying operators on Nethercy brand is the only way to prevent its further spread. Any tiles without operators deployed will allow the brand to freely spread. I'll send a medic operator to back you up. Hang in there, quota. Okay, so the brand stops at the operator. It doesn't go past the operator. Gotcha. So we gotta have someone with a lot of res, preferably, and a berry to bug them up to stop the spread. Okay, that seems reasonable. There's another gap on the right side. Quick, block the Nethercy brand from spreading to the main battlefield. The rest is up to you now. Okay. Stop the spread with... where are you facing? Down. Okay. So I can place Carve here. And I'm assuming that alone is just gonna work. Oh, fuck. Popcar. Let one go. Should have used her skill earlier. Okay, easy. I let one through, but it's just a tutorial stage. Doesn't really matter. Now we can go to SN3. I can see the Nethercy brand. It's gonna have to be stopped by someone, preferably as early as possible. Who are we facing? We don't know. I'm thinking maybe Durnar, backed by a medic. And the upper area can be just held by, I don't know, Thorns, Blaze, and Mountain. No, Thorns, Lapland, and Mountain. Maybe. Okay, so I want... instead of NTR, as I said, I want some Arts Protector. Durnar is my highest level Arts Protector. Get my berries, get my thorns. Instead of Kelsey, I would like Lappy. And instead of... I don't know. Instead of Blue Pea... Or no, you know what? Instead of Mountain, I'm just gonna use Saria. That's gonna provide additional healing. And maybe rather than Texas, I'm gonna take... Where are you? Oh, do I already? Yeah, I already have Myrtle. So instead of Texas, why not give a test run to Spelter? Okay, let's see how it goes. It's still early stages, so it shouldn't really be all that hard. SN3 Quiet Trail. Okay, I guess I'm gonna place you here. Lappy. Durnar. Yep. Oh shit, I need a second medic really fucking fast. There we go. Second berry. That should do the trick. Thorns. Fuck. Sculptor. Spalter, sorry. With a second medic to help out. Yeah, she's a doll keeper, so she should have no problems just stopping the spread of the Nethersea brand. Oh, no, she just fucking died. I take it back. Fuck. Durnar. She's not gonna be able to stop the spread, though. That's a problem. She'll be able to slow it down, but not much more than that. Why do I have Whispering with me? I don't know. Oh, you know what? Pluma? Now, you're not helping. You're not helping because Pluma cannot be healed. I guess... Sure. Blue P. And sure, Spalter. But that alone should be enough, yeah. That was enough. The Nethersea brand is dealing much more damage than I thought it would. Exactly as the reports say, such a curious creature. Easy now, no need to get excited. Seems to understand human speech. There are parasites living on these sea terrors, but I've never seen them on land before. The Iberians call it the Nethersea brand. An eerie glow has been occasionally seen on off the coast of Iberia since the Profound Silence, the earliest known instance dating back to 17 years ago. Our scientists believe it to be some sort of algal bloom. So, have the Aegir also encountered these unsettling things? Seldom, but the Academy's garden has no shortage of luminescent ornamental plants. So the Aegir do know what the word ornamental means. Nethersea brand, an apt name. It is the sea leaving its mark on the land. At its heart, its spread is no different from the sea terrors we saw at Salviento. Do you mean to say this phenomenon is but another form of their evolution? I see the biologists of Iberia are lacking in many ways. We've encountered some complications, but this is far from a worst-case scenario. The Inquisition has noted an alarming increase in the variety of sea terrors, most notably at Coastline 3, where after a mere 4 or 5 days our enemies were unrecognizable. As I said, the ocean encroaches upon the land in its own way. Now there's an operator from Rhodes Island I must rescue. I'll accompany you. No, it'll be more expedient for you to work with the hunters to eliminate the threat as quickly as possible. I'd assumed Iberia would treat her with more caution. Indeed, she should be, but for now we have a clear enemy to deal with. What will you do, Consul of Aegir? Continue to bicker over your country's pride? 10 minutes. I'll take care of everything and meet up with my hunters. Then we can talk about how to reach that lighthouse. I'll remain here then. Law has been absent from this chapel far too long, but thankfully someone has been polishing it. It will be the only light in this war. The Iberian Inquisition is here, even if it is I alone. Hey, what's going on? Mago, where were you? The Church of the Deep's cultists appeared out of nowhere, and the town's covered in monsters. Oh, and what? Why did I attack the town? Where's Amiya? Did the monsters harm you? They didn't harm anyone. They're just fighting an Inquisitor. An Inquisitor. No one told the Inquisition, I swear. They showed up not long after we found the carcass in the square. It might have been their work in the first place, now that I think of it. What's going on, Uncle? Oh, good afternoon there. You look... Jordi, come with me. Uncle? Quiet. Thiago, it wasn't us. We couldn't have contacted the Inquisition in such a short time, no matter how fast we were. I know. We need to protect Jordi and explain things. Maybe someone went to them earlier. A week ago, a month ago, who knows? Rumors of cultists have been spreading for a while now. It wasn't me, or my husband. Could it be Juan? Maybe the Inquisition found him. You knew Juan was a member of the Church of the Deep? When did you find out? Jordi, go. Alright. Thiago? Oh, he's gone. Never mind him. What about the town? I don't know. The Inquisitor and the Outsiders are fighting the monsters. There's nothing we can do about it. It's sick. The Inquisitors will be coming for us once he's done. Surely not. Wait, what are you thinking? Best case scenario would be both sides taking each other out. What? You can't possibly be serious. Think about it. Have we really lost that many people to sea terrors, compared to how much damage the Inquisition has done over the years? But when they come for you, can you prove that you're not a cultist? What are we supposed to do then? If the Inquisitor can really kill that many sea terrors, the only way to avoid suspicion would be to hand over someone even more suspicious. For example, an Aegir linked to the Church of the Deep. Are they thinking of outing not Jomu, the blue guy, the blue Aegir dude, as a cultist of the deep or something? That's not very nice. The others have pulled out, but Amiya is nowhere to be seen. Okay, so Amiya is working with them. Probably. Or maybe not. Wait. The others have pulled... Okay. That's ambiguous. But my first instinct was that Amiya is working with them. Both an Inquisitor, and the Abyssal Hunters. I've only heard them mentioned in passing by Amiya. Here on land, though, they're not as troublesome as the Inquisitor. Find Amiya, take her, and delay the Abyssal Hunters. Go. Our siblings have fallen. We are the last ones standing. The Inquisition must not be allowed to take any more of our comrades. Jordi, hurry. Okay. What's happened to the town? Are those sea terrors too? It's the Inquisition. Maybe a High Inquisitor seeing how he's come to uproot a church hideout all by himself. Sea terrors and cultists have appeared in Gran Faro. There's no explaining this away. Take this lad and the lamp your father left you. Keep them safe. You're not a child anymore, Jordi. Fontana Rosa. Fontana Rosa? What a name. Very Iberian. I've told you everything. This is your last chance to embrace a new life. I always wanted to tell you... No. Wrong voice. I always wanted to tell you the truth. Convince you to leave, but I know, Uncle. You're like a father to me. Grandfather is our home. If I leave here, I won't have anything left. It was going to happen sooner or later. All the young folks want to leave. You're the exception. I'll go with you. Sea terrors are dangerous, but I know how to deal with them. This is our last chance to slip past the Inquisitors, though. What's that sound? Inquisition. The door? Huh? You. Not even sea terrors eat people, but you people have no such qualms. Say something. Piotr, Manuel, I know it's you out there, cowards. What's going on? They've blocked the door. What? But why? Because they're an Aegir. They must have surrounded the place. We'll go up the attic and leave through the roof. Do I know you? Look at you, Laurentina. What happened to your nun's habit? You looked so good in it. I'm gonna have to agree there. Ah, you found where you belonged, right? The Abyssal Hunters found you and they want to bring you home. Laurentina. My name is Laurentina. The name of the vast creation's master. What is this vast creation's master? The ocean, or its avatar. Something's not right with your state of mind. You shouldn't be so... Oh, were you awake? When you killed Quintus, for instance. Quintus? You touched the sea, but did not immediately proceed to Aegir? I thought you people longed for a home. Or do you have somebody on land gently guiding you? Why did we have to reunite under such circumstances, Laurentina? Your hands are so cold. There was a time where there were no secrets between us. Now, though... Spectre, when you remember my name, come and find me. If you still remember this conversation, that is. If your mind is your own, then I will tell you the whole truth. Farewell, Laurentina. Who was that? I don't know. But she seems to know me. She has no scent. She's not seaborn. At least, not like Quintus. We don't have time for her. Clean up the sea terrors and we'll regroup with the captain. Hey, there aren't any sea terrors around here, are there? Only dead ones. It's so quiet here. Did the Inquisition take care of them all? All the better. Come help me shut them inside. Somebody go fetch the Inquisitor. Alright, it's blocked, but why are we doing this to Mayor Thiago when everything's such a mess right now? Because we're all off to the gallows when things stop being a mess, unless we do something about it. Go check out the chapel and get someone from the Inquisition. Me? But what if there are still monsters? Huh? Is there someone on the roof? What? It's Jordi and Thiago. Get them. Don't let them get away. Run. I know. Get out of town and don't let the Inquisitors or those bastards catch you. Alright. Keep running north. There's a messenger station there that might still be in operation. Alright. I put some money in your bag. Get out of town. Get out of the country. Alright. Jordi? I'm listening. Thiago's footsteps slow down. He looks on as the young Aegir runs desperately down the street. Run! Don't look back. Keep running. That's right. Get out of here. Never look back. Don't let them get out of town. You were right, lad. This is our home, and no amount of waiting or complaining will change that. Farewell, my child. Thiago, where's the Aegir? Coward. What the hell are you doing? You'll doom us all. We'll all be branded heretics by the Inquisition, just like the old days. Are you more afraid of the Inquisition than the Sea Terrors? More afraid of your own people than monsters? We already lost everything to the Inquisition once. Do you want that to happen again? Pah, your fist is like rubber. You, wait, what's that? You're still here. I've got to get back to the chapel. The Inquisitors will protect me. Take that, you coward. Are you mad? Didn't you see the Sea Terrors? What about the Sea Terrors? Did Sea Terrors eat Grandfather? No, it was you people. You're worse than the profound silence. You've slaughtered compassion with selfishness, whitewashed our own cowardice, and blamed the disaster on the Aegir. Now, the monsters, they're getting closer. Screw it, Najab, I don't have time for this. Of course, you coward. When they took Marin, when they took the Aegir, you were right there under the banner of the Penal Battalion. Murderer. Don't think the rest of us are gonna humor you just because you fell in love with an Aegir way back when. Come at me, coward. You'll get it from me. Yeah, the Sea Terrors don't need to do anything. Those people are just gonna murder each other. The two men become increasingly bloodied as they pummel each other, while Sea Terrors rush by, ignoring them entirely. Yeah, exactly. They don't need to work on anything. They look decidedly out of place. Thiago? Uncle Thiago? Uncle? Why? I have to go back. Stop right there, Aegir. Yes? The last Aegir of Grandfaro, the last descendant of Breogan. What? The Sea Terrors would kill you and the Inquisition would imprison you. Come with me, I need you. Are you one of them? The ones commanding the monsters? No. I seek a lost legend, one that caught the attention of even the Academy. Yet this most important legacy is neither a lighthouse nor a ship, but his descendant. You might be the final clue I'm seeking. I don't know what you're talking about. That man, Thiago, is not your father. Who were your parents? Your grandparents? My parents... They went missing, in search of the Eye of Iberia. As cruel as it is, your misfortune is what gives you the chance to become the salvation of Aegir. Come with me. I'd prefer not to use force against kin. This is all coming out of nowhere. Come with me. Oh, that was an explosion. Huh. What's going on? Quiet, bro, I'm saving your life. Let's go. Smoke bomb. He shouldn't have let you get away. What's the point of running away with him? You know nothing, Liberty. Who's that? You're right, Egir. There are many mysteries here. Is that Kelsey? No, who? Oh, High Inquisitor. Transgressor, you answer my questions or we'll never leave this place. I hope you're smart enough to recognize this fact. The Inquisition is here in like full force. Good. Looks like we've shaken him off. It was the right choice to grab you when the Inquisitor drew near. They aren't fighting right now, are they? Hello? Oh, sorry, I need to go back to town. Wouldn't recommend it. Most of the seafarers are gone, but something doesn't feel right, and I can't get in touch with Dr. Kelsey. Plus, you were planning to leave, weren't you? No. I heard that the Inquisitors came to town, and Uncle Thiago was worried I'd be taken away. The Inquisition, huh? What did the guy want with you, anyway? Sorry, you don't have to talk if you don't want to. I'll need a bit of time to decide whether to go back to town and find Dr. Kelsey or get you out of here first. I'll go with you. You sure? Your uncle was so desperate to get you out. If the Inquisition is coming, I doubt I'll be able to escape. Is that duty worth giving up your life for? Huh? What do you... So, you're going back to Grandfather just out of some vague sense of duty without even a clear goal? You've gotta be kidding me. If I were you, I'd leave this place along with any townsfolk who don't want to get involved, and soon. This isn't like running into a swarm of Reginium slugs while camping out in the woods. I hate to say it, but ordinary people can't do a thing here. I just feel like there has to be something left for me to do. I grew up here, listening to those legends, gazing at the coastline, reading my parents' notes. I don't want my farewell to be like this. This place is my home. Okay, I confirm devices apparently on this stage. What's next? Oh, 3 new things. Inquisition minutes, logs. Sure, Research Institute. Why not? Judging from the equipment remaining amidst the embers, this newly burnt down house was a secret research facility not too long ago. The Church of the Deep cultists were trying to uncover the secrets of evolution. They seem to possess academic curiosity as well, not just blind faith. Salvage the files. The documents in the file cabinet escape a fiery fate. Okay, I'm clicking. The file cabinet holds materials that the Church of the Deep cultists have been researching for a long time. From the dates and labels, their research began many years ago. The promise of an evolutionary endgoal is so enticing and so real that it can drive the brightest minds to work towards it day and night, sacrificing themselves. A few lines of handwriting are scribbled onto the file's header, perhaps a spark of inspiration from the cultist who recorded it. What does it mean to become a part of the cycle of evolution? It means to be truly free from all suffering. Collapsed residence. This place may have been inhabited by Aegir Islanders, as the signboards were faintly visible patterns distinct from the Iberian style. Now it is completely uninhabited, and when the previous inhabitants left, they lacked the time to even take their supplies with them. And I got a soft chair. Abandoned factory. The factory has been abandoned for many years, the skeletons of incomplete ships scattered among mechanical giants like corpses rotting in a wilderness, their flesh and blood plucked away. This factory came to life along with Granfaro itself, its ambitious builder certainly unable to imagine that things would end this way. Let's search it. Pretty much anything of value has already been whisked away, but the collectors over the years seem to have overlooked the toolbox in the corner. Hidden inside the toolbox in the corner are several blueprints and a notepad. The blueprints, signed by Chief Naval Architect Breogan. Breogan was mentioned by Ulpian. So I'm assuming Breogan is Jordi's ancestor? Grandfather? Great-grandfather? Something along those lines. Depict a massive battleship, the magnum opus of Iberia's golden age before calamity struck. The Stultifera Navis? But both Granfaro and this factory were born after the calamity, and the ships slated to be built here were nothing more than laughable toys compared to even the smallest in the fleet. The engineers here still carry with them blueprints of things that can no longer be brought into being. Are they meant for technical reference, or are they merely holding on to a beautiful dream? Funnily enough, even this parody of the Golden Age is filled with nothing but corpses. Click, click, click. Yeah, I got some stuff in the inventory. Sea Terror research sample. Sea Terrors are beautiful creatures. Please be aware, this is no mere verbal flourish. My colleagues often accuse me of being excessively romantic, and perhaps that's true, but I must reiterate. In my eyes, each Sea Terror is like a delicately crafted poem. They have rhythm, they have rhyme, and their very existence is worth admiring. Look at all these little critters in their myriad forms. Scholars of literature will stop at nothing to analyze why a poem tugs the heartstrings, and we, in a sense, are doing the same. The Herald will forgive us, for we are not harming the great evolution, but rather studying how it becomes ever more resplendent. Scribbled notepad. Grandfather needs you. Here, we will restore Iberia's glory. That's what they told us from the very beginning. That's right. Those of us who didn't want to die gathered here to build our town. Iberians will not be struck down by any calamity, and even our islander brothers joined us. I must say, their technological skills are completely beyond us, and it was little surprise to me that Master Breogan is an Aegir. I've never worked with Master Breogan before, and after seeing his blueprints and diagrams, this has become a lifelong regret of mine. There's an old engineer in the shipyard who worked under him and supposedly participated in designing the capital port, but he never said a word about Master Breogan, as if nobody wanted to even bring him up. Why is that? In any case, I'm going to press this blueprint underneath the glass of my drafting table. We may never be able to design and build such a beautiful ship ever again, but it is just as important to remind everyone that we once could. And some logs. Seaside Street. On the long road beside the ocean, the representatives of two civilizations speak herein. Story node. I arrived in this new land from my maritime home. There is no end to ghastly shock here, not a break in the tragic weave. The clouds are far from as fine as told in legend, and both the land and sky are rough-bitten and hurting. Cities comparable to Aegir are all but prey to catastrophe. Moreover, the people of this dry land are plagued by an inscrutable sickness. I had learned of orypathy of Originium from many an academy record. Seeing it firsthand, though, the truth of how it has become an integral part of the land, its roots deep and stubborn, it made witheringly apparent. Nevertheless, they still tenaciously pursue both technology and truth through their unique means, and seek to leave the mark of their continued existence. Though I am lambasted a traitor, I do not regret my decision to come ashore. The seaborne swarm is expanding. Within a decade, Aegir will find itself besieged with no quarter. But someday, I will complete my travels and return to Iberia. I will leave this memoir behind for the Aegir to seek and decipher. I have no faith in the nobility. I am certain that those Aegir-termed islanders today will find Iberia withdrawing its respect for them soon enough, whatever the reason may be. The Golden Dreadnought, the Eye of Culture, the what the fuck is this word? The jurisprudence of evolution, the stele of life, The ocean and land must form a united front to withstand the billowing waves. It was never my intent to serve as a pioneer. All I am is one step ahead of fate. From a copy of the Notes of Breogan, famed Iberian architect and chief shipwright, written in cryptic Aegirian. This is an event. Hello, first of all, Giant. This is an event, Stultifera Navis. It's running currently. As far as the main story goes, I'm currently at chapter 6, so I'm not entirely caught up to that, unfortunately. I'm waiting for some dead weeks, or maybe some event reruns, or something like that to get ahead in the main story. Right now, events certainly do take precedence. This is a matter between the Aegir. So long as you stand on Iberian soil, the law is watching you, and so am I. Huh. What is the relation between you and those 3 abyssal hunters? You've harmed Skadi. Strange. Surely she intended to avoid combat. Her blood is a special sort, more special than the rest of ours. I hope you've been diligent in cleaning your weapons. I'm the one asking questions here, and I'm the one who decides whether to answer. I gather the only hunters granted freedom of movement by Lord Carmen were those who declared their interests during the Saliviento conflict. Seems it wasn't a coincidence you crossed swords with her then. She was hardly weak. Weak? What a naive appraisal. She's just unaccustomed to dry land. She lacks flexibility. Hello, Irene. Don't move, Aegir. Comply with the High Inquisitor's investigation. The Inquisition has already concluded negotiations with the Hunters. Your every move merely undermines the basis of our cooperation. Cooperation. I advise you to rethink your actions. Inquisitor, how many soldiers like you does Iberia have? That's none of your business. Enough to amass an army 3,000 strong? Then Iberia is still unqualified. Irene is cute, I agree. She is indeed a playable character. She's actually running on the current banner, and I tried to pull her, but alas, I couldn't. There's still time until the end of the event though, so maybe, just maybe, I'm gonna get Irene as well. She's a permanent addition though, so even if I don't pull her right now, then whenever I manage to pull a 6-star sometime in the future, there's a chance that said 6-star will be Irene. So that's comforting. You're going nowhere. What? Where did it come from? Hey, Inquisitor, are you alright? I'm fine. That Aegir. This was my fault, sir. He could easily have used that chance to take an arm from me, yet he chose to flee. It seems we can't afford to give chase just yet. They're headed for the city. They're hiding in the soil. No. This entire swathe of earth has been polluted. How can that be? Take a good look at that grey land and the sinister miasma filling it. Yes, sir. Grandfather is not being infiltrated by the Church of the Deep. It has already fallen to them. Prepare to fight head on. Ensure Lord Carmen is safe ASAP. This fluorescent Nethercy brand. It's akin to their own city. It beggars belief. They're born from it, they proliferate and migrate through it. Not all lives thirst for independence. It's no wonder these filthy things were able to hide in this town. But who brought them ashore? Well, this is just perfect. And here we thought we could find a little inspiration on our beach trip. Talk about a total wash. Seas caressing their land, I can tell. This is bad gone better. Kelsey once said Kelsey once said the Aegir won and that the Abyssal Hunters are the orphans of that battle. But with how things look now, I'm starting to doubt there was ever a win. Oh, speaking of Kelsey, did she give us the thing? Yep. Way to beat around the bush. Why didn't she just give it straight to that Aegir, Gladia? That would have been faster. She wanted to use the key to draw us into this, and from that view she definitely succeeded. Or maybe she was originally planning to make us retrieve or help out with something, and then she changed her mind? Huh? Hasn't she always been like 300 steps ahead? What could possibly force her to change her mind? I'm just saying it's possible. Sure, she knows a lot of things, but more than that, she's cautious. If not, how many times would she have died by now? What are you dancing around for, Dan? This chapel would work great for a concert. Skadi, shark. We wiped out every enemy we could see. Formless wisps of waves are spreading here, as the tide on sandy shores. An inauspicious omen. We should not be here. It seems cleaning up some trash wasn't enough to bring her back to her senses. What do we do? Once this area is spotless, we borrowed the Iberians' assistance in finding that ship. There are things we don't recognize on their bodies. Perhaps a part of the sea terrors themselves. I've been wondering for a while now. How can they still evolve so fast? How are they still so full of life? Even though we've already... That's precisely the question we intend to shed light on. It is also the reason I was willing to cooperate with Kelsey. Dr. Kelsey, a fine woman to be sure. Rouse yourself, Hunter. End this before the sun sinks below. Sea terrors who cannot hear the ocean's call are but inferior life forms. Understood. You... Gladia, you've come. I will listen, then. Shark? Do you find it unwieldy in your hands? This? I often forget the weapon is in my grasp, as if I'm dancing with it. That is your past, and it has almost caught up to you. We'll be waiting. You lead a punctual march, Dario. Have you arranged what I asked of you? Yes, Lord. The Penal Battalion has readied a ship to leave for the Eye of Iberia. They've also evacuated the coast and surrounded this town by now. Those misguided fools have nowhere to flee. There's nothing to fear in those petty villains, but the new threat they've brought forth is an astonishing one. Our technology is able to treat this minor pollution, which is only a temporary victory, Dario, and this is Aegir technology, not ours. If for every second of every minute, every droplet of every grain of the tides beating against our sandy shores spreads the sea terrors and their ecology, how are we to defend our homeland then? We will find an answer before that happens. The anime is adapting the main story, correct. From what I know, there are no plans to adapt any of the events. It's just chapter 1 to 4 or 1 to 5 or something thereabouts of the main story. Yes, most assuredly. The Inquisition is also prepared to do battle with the Abyssal Hunters. We will throttle them to death on this remote shoreline. A fitting cemetery. We can only hope they make the wise choice and that Kelsey can accomplish what she's pledged to. So this is your apprentice then? I'm familiar with her from her work. Yes, Inquisitor Irene reporting in, Lord Carmen. They say that when Dario found you in the ruins, a thick tome of classics had lodged itself in the beams of the caving roof. A miraculous equilibrium that saved your life. Yes, sir. Young one, you are here only because Dario has determined that you have the will to rush onto the front line. Yes, sir. There is an immaturity to you, but you are eager to prove yourself. Your body is filled with vigor and tenacity. But your duties in Granfara will be no easier than in Salviento. From here on, you will be only plunging ever deeper into the heart of evil. Are you prepared? For Iberia's orderliness and integrity, I shall raise my sword and my lantern. To me, this motto is more than just a rallying cry. She will be prepared. I trust your judgment, but fate does not often give its people time to prepare. Dr. Kelsey and I have matters to attend to still. The mission of guiding the Abyssal Hunters back to the Eye of Iberia is now yours. The Eye of Iberia? High Inquisitor, what exactly is our task? Establish a camp, safeguard the route, and ensure that our maintenance teams can safely reach the lighthouse. The last piece of the Eye of Iberia is 15 nautical miles out from the nearest coast to Gran Faro, assuming of course that it's still where the maps indicate. 15 nautical miles? Once our fleet could gaze far across the surface of the tranquil sea, but since the profound silence, the ocean has become like a boiling poison, melting all who touch it. This is a daunting mission, but recapturing this final lighthouse is of tremendous importance to our people. Understood, sir. It is for this that we require the Aegir's assistance. You are skeptical. She has been to see the Inquisition's underground cages. So, you have witnessed the truth of the Inquisition's search, in spite of the fact it cannot obtain an answer. Go, young Inquisitor. Time will not wait. But if necessary, I will have you put time itself on trial. Where's Kelsey in all of that? Watch out! You okay there? You okay there? I'm fine. Sorry, Mr. Elysium, I'm being a dragoness again. Don't you mind it. The sea terrors. Identical wounds pounded into holes in twos and threes. The style has to be Scotty and the girls. This town's been wrecked through and through. Haha, yeah? Whoa, hold it, Jordy. What is this? Fluorescent creepers, floating creatures, or is it a coral? This stuff is covering the whole street ahead. Hold on, something's coming out of the roofs. Move. Wait. No way, they already have their nest here? I thought the Church of the Deep guys just sicked them on the town. And wait, could there seriously have just been born? This many? How fast does it go? Jordy? Oh, I'm here. Ditch, take a 180 and run for it. But they're behind us too, Mr. Elysium. Kelsey ex machina? These monsters build nests faster than the freaking undertied gloom pincers did. Then it's do or die. Hey, Jordy, find something. Anything. You gotta weaponize. Will an umbrella do? Yeah, sure. Looks like we're in for some rain. Hold on to that thing like you mean it. Get ready. Yeah, here comes monster. Burn it all, together with the buildings. It would seem Aegir technology isn't necessary to treat the Nethersea brand. Dr. Kelsey! Good, you're in one piece. What happened? And who is this somewhat despondent-seeming Aegir? Outstanding strength hunters. Spares your remarks. Let us hasten to the topic at hand. Kelsey has recently suffered quite the ordeal on your behalf. The age she has given us will be forever carved into my memory, while what you've done, I will likewise never forget. But this present situation is by a hair arrangement. A small coastal town, a simple meeting. Then, in honor of her efforts, may we set aside our grievances and begin the discussion? What you seek is Breogan's legacy. You want to find the Stultifera. Stultifera Navis? The ship of fools? Wasn't that the flagship of the fleet wiped out in the profound silence? But how many years has it been? What most piques my curiosity is how a foreigner can be so sure that it remains afloat. Then, from the Iberian point of view, do you believe it to be sunk or not? Huh. In all likelihood, it isn't. However, it has not once returned to port. A ship, unsunk for over 60 years, yet never returning to Dryland's harbor. Can your people determine its position? We could once, but not now. In other words... Ildia looks to the statue beside them. She has no recollection of such buildings. Perhaps they had already died their silent deaths before she came ashore. The Eye of Iberia. These wonders were once the cornerstone of a magnificent project, but most of the lighthouses that formed the Eye perished in the profound silence. Only one remains. It does not belong to you. It belongs to Aegir. Raogan was indeed an Aegir, and he came from the ocean, but his devotion was selfless. He made ample contribution to Iberia's sea explorations. After the disaster, you let your citizens pour their rage upon the Aegir. Upon him, indulging such folly paints you in an untrustworthy light. Yet are the Aegir able to swear no implication in the profound silence? Worlds will be the death of us all. If the two of you are so determined to continue this conversation, then both Iberia and Aegir are as good as destroyed. Civilizations do not die, they are merely endlessly replaced. But the next time it happens, humanity will have no hand in it. Dr. Kelsey, please mind your tongue with Lord Carmen. I do not mind. We've certainly known each other long enough. But is this your usual method, Kelsey? Surgically extracting the key individuals from the gargantuan body of fate, sitting them down in front of you and convincing them of the rightness of your idea? My idea is simply to save you. Iberia is free to refuse, as is Aegir. If we count the untested young lady, then there are 6 at the table, 3 each for both the Inquisition and the Hunters. The town square itself is an Iberian marvel constructed by an Aegir. It could not be more appropriate for such a conference. At this very moment, the Netherse brand is still spreading. The sea terrors have built a nest in town, and their existence takes a vastly different form than before, a difference drastic enough to cause alarm. If none present yet recognize the scale of this oceanic threat, then perhaps we really should adjourn. We can watch as the precious time bought by the sacrifice of the Abyssal Hunters is whiled away for nothing. Was our victory meaningful? Of course. Without it, and after the profound silence, Iberia would not even have a deathbed to struggle upon. As for you, Lord Carmen, I hope you can put aside your prejudices against the Aegir. Use your... I'm so very old now, Kelsey. Let's get to the point, shall we? I've aged past the inclination to win every argument, as well as the strength to uphold glory through speeches. There is no greater glory than survival, and no one sees the situation clearer than I. You may rescind your words. The Inquisition is willing to fully cooperate with the Abyssal Hunters in finding the lost Dreadnought. The Golden Dreadnought. I have no objections. I would have thought contact between Aegir and Iberia would give you pause. Contact? Ah, if you could breathe underwater, you could visit our cities without the aid of equipment, then I would not mind showing you a true display of Aegir's technology. We look forward to it, Madam Consul. A tercio of the Penal Battalion will immediately shore several dual-use warships at Gran Faro, establish a camp, and clean up the harbor in preparation. Dario, Irene, go with the Abyssal Hunters. Prioritize securing a sea route to the Eye of Iberia. Pass your judgment on arrival. As you command. Kelsey, should time be of the essence, I will prioritize re-establishing contact with Aegir. A voyage to the deep sea is a treacherous affair to us all, but for you it will simply be a trip back home. You will find that ship, and you will find a way back to Aegir. I leave the details to your discretion. Perhaps it will be far in the future when next we meet. So long as you remember our words, we hope that once we return, you will be able to reevaluate all that Aegir has suffered. Then let us make haste. We will... Hello. Sorry, Dr. Kelsey. Ever since the part about the lighthouse, Jordy's been... The Aegir. Perfect. I have much to ask you. Wait. Who are you? I'm a resident of this town. My name is Jordy. There shouldn't be any Aegir in Gran Faro. Our dossier says there are records of collusion between the Aegir and the Church of the Deep. Who are your parents? My parents were lighthouse technicians. They gave their lives for the Eye of Iberia. My house is filled with dusty blueprints. I may have never actually seen the lighthouse, but I want to. With the meaning of my homeland, the meaning of my parents' lifelong struggle, You may not. The Inquisition must first interrogate you. And why should I consider protecting a feeble civilian in a melee? What if you were a descendant of Breogan? What? But he looks nothing like the photographic records of Breogan. Even if it's true, we should be demanding he turn over what's left of his family's legacy and let the Inquisition take over the research. Hi, Inquisitor. What's your name, Egir? Jordi. Jordi Fontarosa. My uncle told me that... Then you should know what awaits you for voluntarily appearing before the Inquisition. I know. Irene? Yes, sir. Seize him. And take him with you. Yes, what? That was what you wished for, was it not? Thank you, Lord. Nevertheless, my greatest hope is to see true, enduring cooperation between Aegir and Iberia. Even the longest journey starts with a single step. Then we don't have a moment to lose. We will let the eye of Iberia gaze upon the desolate sea once again. Phew. What's that? Logs. Cold Reef Port. The calamity completely reshaped Iberia's coastline, and the majestic harbor built more than 70 years ago sank into the sea without a trace. It goes without saying that Cold Reef Port cannot hold a candle to it. Though small, it still reserves a few berths for massive ships. In reality, those ships would never return to port. Let's prepare to board. A few of the small vessels prepared beforehand by the Penal Battalion are moored in the port. When they set sail into the sea for the first time, they will face completely unknown winds and waves. Okay, I'm clicking. What did I get? Oh, log. After the plan to build Gran Faro was put on hold, Cold Reef Port was almost never used. The few voyages in the port's records were mostly small-scale search missions carried out by the Inquisition and the Penal Battalion. Nobody ever returned from these expeditions. Today, this long-since lonely port will finally see off another ship from its embrace. Its crew will set out to find the Eye of Iberia that is still looking out over the ocean. The Penal Battalion prepared the boat in advance, the old dock worker carrying out work he was unfamiliar with, loading the vessel with supplies for the voyagers. The boat slowly left the port, disappearing from the people's sight. The dock worker thought to himself that he might never get the chance to send off another ship in his few remaining years. We are 68% through. Jesus, it takes a lot of time. Arriving at the Eye of Iberia. Yeah, that's just a log. Eye of Iberia. Nobody knows why this lighthouse survived the disaster, but perhaps it is because no matter how terrifying the wind and waves may be, nothing can stop people from gazing towards the sea. Iberia's eyes will never close, only to be temporarily clouded over. Bloody sketch. It was a rainy night. A High Inquisitor staggered back to the station. Her wounds were severe and her sides had been punctured. It was a miracle she was still hanging on after trudging so long through the curtain of icy rain. People helped her to fire, attempting to restore her body temperature with little success. The doctor found that she has basically already bled dry. The High Inquisitor, known for her resourcefulness and decisiveness, had led her team on a hunt for a Bishop of the Deep. By all means, this should have been a fairly low-risk mission, considering her past accomplishments. But this time, the station lost contact with her entire team. Iberia has been toiling ceaselessly to rebuild itself from the ruins, so accidents were not uncommon, but still heart-wrenching. But now, she'd managed to return. The doctor found her right hand clenched in a death grip, as if holding onto something. She could no longer control her muscles, and her nails pierced into her palms. Yet still, she held on, unwilling to release herself from her agony. She was waiting for someone. Lord Carmen finally rushed over, and the High Inquisitor squeezed one last breath of air from her lungs, her faint, wispy voice reverberating through the entire station. There's still a lighthouse that remains standing. There are still compatriots who remain watching. In her clenched fist was this rough sketch. That's not a rough sketch, that's a good and proper sketch. Okay, let's just see. Oh, that's a lot of logs. That's just music. That's a lot of CG to still unlock. And that's a lot of items in the backpack. Jesus. Dusty warehouse. The warehouse holds supplies designated for the next voyage. The only problem? Nobody knows when that will be or if it will ever happen. Defeat 80 Nether-sea predators. And I got cutting fluid solution. That's a cool approach to rewards. Usually there's a menu for them. This time around, they're just scattered across the map. Another story node. Jesus fuck. It shuts its eyes, its sweet dreams unperturbed for over a decade. Ugh, what is this disgusting floor? What's happening? Is it the sea terrors? Thiago? Amiya? What's going on? What's going on? Didn't you say those Church of the Deep cultists wouldn't show up? They've made a complete mess of this place. Thiago, I came to say goodbye. What? It's about time for me too, and the opportunity is hard to come by now. That's all it is. I don't understand. Thiago? The Inquisitors are here. All three of them. Jordy's in their hands. Yeah. Don't, Thiago. Jordy came back by his own will. And what can you do against 3 Inquisitors? Does he know what it means to be found by the Inquisition? You've told him so many times that I'd be shocked if he didn't. But that's how people are. Reason might tell us to take every advantage and avoid the opposite, but people are so complicated and you can't judge that so easily. I wouldn't call Jordy a fool for his choice. Autoing everything. Well, here's the thing with Arknights, you can't exactly auto the stages. I mean, once you complete them manually, then sure, then you can auto them, but it's not like, I don't know, Princess Connect or Blue Archive or, I don't know, Counterside, I guess, as well, and others where you can just auto through the story. But yeah, people burn out of gachas and come back. It's the usual thing that happens. Now's not the time to argue over morality. This is his nature we're talking about. Character, not morality, Mayor Thiago. There's a certain beauty in human nature. Yeah, what happened? Yeah, my OBS just minimized. Even time can't deny that. What are we getting at? Do you hate the Inquisition? The sea terrors have blanketed this town, but remember, Thiago, remember. Remember that rainy night when the Penal Battalion charged into town, breaking down doors? The unending screams drowned out the pitter-patter of the rain. No, stop. And now? The sea's brand is spreading across town. Have you heard any screams? Have you seen anyone being senselessly slaughtered or hunted down? You haven't. Right now, all that remains in Gran Faro is stillness. I never knew that the ocean was so vast. The sea breeze blows past. Jordi cannot believe what's before his eyes. He had always thought the sea's horizon was the sky's end. Not until witnessing this boundless expanse of waves for himself does Jordi, the Aegir, have a sudden question. Why has humanity never desired to explore this? How could we ever determine our position out here? It's not as if the moons are signal beacons or the stars could be read like a map. Haha, funny you mentioned that, because they totally can. Although, I guess not on Terra, there is some tomfuckery going in space, so perhaps not, actually. Yeah, I'm also playing multiple gachas right now, and it's kind of hard to keep that. What am I playing? Arknights, Blue Archive, Alchemy Stars, Revived Witch, Punishing Grey Raven, and Azure Lane. That's already 6, and also a little bit of what's it called? The one that had Madoka Magic collab. Artery Gear. Yeah, that one. And Counter Side, I also stream sometimes. Well, streamed it once, but I'm gonna play it again sometime soon. And I've also been playing Princess Connect, but now not so much. Princess Connect honestly kinda got stale. Why can't we read the stars like a map? Ask a professional astronomer and find out. Then, if the Aegir really is under the water, then how big is it? Bigger than Iberia? There's a handful of genuine Aegir over there. How about you ask them? They seem like they have their own worries, though. They're all so solemn. Shark, what are you listening to? The wind. There's an offering of kin mingled with the sea breeze. It puts me much at ease. She gets more like this the closer we are to the sea. Even though in Salviento she was so... Do you know why? I could guess, but it would only disturb your judgment. We have a battle before us. Do you ever attempt to return to the sea after your narrow escape to the shore? Of course, I failed. There was no end to them. They surrounded me. I ran out of strength before I could even swim far. I tried so many times. But you're still alive. We are all well aware of the changes in our bodies, Skadi. You included. Shark may have suffered some injury, but none of our hunters are so fragile. And she's the same as us. Spectre, once a victim of the Church of the Deep. Originium, absent in the ocean, has affected her in a whole host of ways. Why bring along such an uncertain element? We are going home. It does not concern you. Home? But circumstances in Aegir can hardly be better than in Iberia. Raise your lantern, Inquisitor. Let's prepare to greet our first enemies. Oh, they've come. One final question. Are there really only 3 Abyssal Hunters? If there were others, I would have long since found them. What compels you to ask? Is this ship's course true? Undoubtedly. Then the sea terrors are becoming more explicitly hostile as we approach the Eye of Iberia. Perhaps it is already their nest. Fighting them aboard this ship would waste far too much time. Skadi, Shark, defend this vessel. Keep an eye on the primitive signal navigation facilities while you're at it. I will enter the sea. I'll go with you. You are stronger in the sea, but so are they, and we cannot bleed down there. The risk is too high. What's wrong? Are there monsters attacking again? No, I can't see any. We don't know what's happening under the water, but... That muffled booming, what's going on down there? Is she fighting below? No. She's just moving. She's faster in the water. How can anyone move faster through water than air? Habit, I guess. Or maybe it's a skill. The sea terrors are following her. She's opened up a passage. Irene, take Brogan's descendant and continue to steer. Pick up speed before the enemy surrounds us. Oh, the both of them stayed ashore. Interesting. They've left. The seas won't be peaceful. If you worry for them, we'd best hurry and finish up our business. Grandfather is only an outpost to recapture the lighthouse. Retaking it is all that matters. I'm surprised that Iberia can already exploit Aegir technology to resist the encroaching Netherse brand. Regardless, the rate of its evolution is faster than any one scientist's genius. If we seek victory, we must use whatever we can. Even an army, I see. This is as plain This is it should be a. This is a plain, unremarkable town. Perhaps there are more strategic locations waiting for the Inquisition to recapture them one by one. More favorable battlefields, grander walls and fortifications. But sometimes it's fine to start with what's at hand. However, many Iberians are willing to fight to the death against the waves. That is how many soldiers we can field. Let's begin the cleanup. Fight! Let me fight! Let me play the fucking game! I like the story, don't get me wrong. But it's so incredibly long. Hey, are we still not there yet? According to the nautical map, we should be able to at least see it by now. High Inquisitor, we have to head deeper in, or else... No. Look up. The lantern. The Eye of Iberia. What? It's nothing but black overhead. I can see... No, that's not the sky. They've made it their nest by now. Very close to the shore. No wonder their numbers are so great. We can just cut them all down, like before. Yes, like before. Shark? So that is their eye. Why does it feel so familiar? It has been caked in filth for too long, unable to open its lid. I'll clear a path. Jordi, come with us. Okay, I hope I can be of help. No, there's something only you can do. If you can't, then we'll have to change strategies and prioritize ensuring that the Inquisition's technicians can make it here safely. And in the battle to come, we'll have no time to care for the fate of a solipsistic Aegir. Got it? You seem nervous. Aegir, you don't understand what finally reaching this island again signifies for us. And what would that be? Ever since the Penal Battalion discovered remnant signals from the lighthouse, we've made 17 attempts to make landfall, 8 of which succeeded in setting foot on this reef. Hundreds of soldiers and 3 Inquisitors. No one returned alive. Don't tell me your superior Aegir ethics teach you to respect your heroes, but forsake their memory? The High Inquisitor and I, the Iberians, will hold a memorial for those who died at sea. I did not mean to peek at your morals. All I can say is that, in the face of the ocean, we are all alone and weak. Do as you wish, but we are pressed for time. A foot falls on the reef. A colossus hides in the jet-black wings. Only by tilting one's head back and gazing far up can one distinguish it from the murky sky. Ooh, that's a beautiful CG. Oof, yeah, shutting down gachas, that hurts. Thankfully none of the gachas that I'm playing have shut down yet, and hopefully none of them will, because I like them all. But yeah, it's gotta hurt, for sure. The Eye of Iberia. I'm gonna grab a screeny. A final pair of eyes, sealed shut. So tall. The scale of that statue in town has to be wrong. High Inquisitor? This is what we once... It is. My first time seeing it as well. The two remain silent for a moment, dead in their tracks as they look over at this vast spectacle that survived only in documents and records. The enduring reality of Iberia goes far beyond what she was taught, Irene thinks. Despite the Abyssal Hunters' ample disdain for them, despite the balance of the nation well and truly crumbling. Despite it all, this lighthouse is an emblem of past glory and wild ambitions, of dreams and the domination of the unknown. Whatever feelings may roll in your heart at this moment, engrave them all. This building, this worn swords and lanterns, this reefs, this ocean, Carve into your heart just what humanity has built in its struggle. Keep it with you forever, at all times. If we do not venerate our sacrifices, our scales are meaningless. Yes, sir. Enter carefully. Got it. What are you doing? Have we come home? No, not yet. But if we find what Kelsey and the captain are looking for here, maybe we can. Just hold on, we're almost there. It's too quiet. But it still stinks. Yes, the reef is coated in remnant nether sea brand. I can see traces of man-made objects too, rotted for the most part. Gladia paces slowly. She looks up at the tower, standing against the tenebrous sky. The eye of Iberia is directed towards the heavens, as if upon this finite soil life cranes its neck, wanting to see the future. The nations of the land have done all they can to reproduce Breogan's remaining legacy. These so-called lighthouses are an emulation of Aegir technology, through and through. What can this lighthouse be awaiting, sad in this void and empty sea? Does it watch the ocean or the land, I wonder? Captain? I know. Within is a sea terror nest. The lack of an immediate attack may merely be defensive, a guarding of the den. It is about time they come. There's not too many. The coast is already out of sight. Sentimental? No, I just mean we can't bleed here. It'll be extremely dangerous. They can't pierce her skin. So long as we do not seize your dance, these numbers are insufficient to kill us. The lighthouse, it really is just like the statue in town, which means those blueprints at home really were from my mother and father for the Eye of Iberia. My parents were once in this very place. Jordi looks back towards the shore. Each and every day his mind went back to his view of that overcast shore, a lifeless grey, a hopeless crowd. But, look at this lighthouse, he thinks. Uncle Thiago's right. They were all heroes. They were all meant to be legends. The Abyssal Hunters should be regrouping not far from here. They will be joining this battle too. Don't forget what we experienced in Salviento. Their blood is highly unusual, and Kelsey hardly told us everything. Understood. So they can be trusted. What did you see beneath the Inquisition? Seaborn. You should still remember their twistedness, their vitality, their serenity. In Salviento, the hunters did battle such a monster and emerged victorious. I know that. You've seen the truth, so now you must reassess your past in Iberia. Tear apart the old swimming through your head, make your own judgments. Yes, sir. They're ready for us. Withdrawn to defend their nest, waiting for the chance to strike, here to drive out the invaders. Jordi, report. Right. It's a miracle, really. These control panels outside are still responding, but I'm not sure what theory these things are based on. I'm looking though. I have all those research notes from home with me in my bag. Be quick about it. I know, it's this one. No, that's not it. When did this one get wet? Hey, Inquisitor, they're here. Combat? Fuck, still not. The billows rage forth. Their arrogance surges dozens of meters high, shattering one day after another, succumbing to the reef and the 3 moons. One moon is bright, one moon is dark. These are the moons spoken of throughout time, hung in the sky. The remaining moon comes from the intervals betwixt the waves, as the peaks of every crest. The moonlight comes from the title he once believed in. Who are you? Seaborn? An Aegir? Seaborn aren't humanoid, that has to be an Aegir. Phew. I have Iberia. Oh, that's the full glory of this picture. And some logs. Lighthouse entrance, finally combat. Nethersea brand. That's gonna be a pain in the ass. Yeah, I think my current team is just fine. Maybe instead of Whisper Rain, I would like... Mud. Maybe. Gummy for that self-healing. I'm gonna try Mud. Let's see how it goes. I have 2 berries, so I should be at least fine on... Okay, what is that? Hand of the Saint. Okay, it's a stun. Oh, there's more Nethersea brand. That's not fun. I didn't notice that before. And it's spreading really fast. I don't like that fact. Yeah, second berry. Can she keep up healing thorns? Third healer. Spalper. And that might be enough. Pluma. Okay. Quick kill. I guess... Sure. I'm gonna take you out and place Mud as the last line of defense. And I keep forgetting to cast his skill. Okay. This should win this round. Right, those motherfuckers have dodge. Until they get silenced by Lappy. Oh, that was hit. Come on, one more hit. There we go. The Nethersea brand is annoying. I gotta give it that. Is that on board of the Rhodes Island? It is. Hello, Maria. What are we doing on Rhodes Island? Is it morning already? The operator's equipment was a lot more seriously damaged than we anticipated. Still, the fact that they managed to save so many people from that catastrophe is a testament to how amazing they are. I've got a chin-up as well. Hello, Granny. Hi, Maria. I'm here to pick up an order from the engineering department. Oh, Granny, just a moment. Let's see, where did I put that? Sorry, I haven't tidied this place up for a few days, so it's a bit of a dump. Haha, sure looks more like a proper Kazimierzan workshop than last time I stopped by. Huh? What's this? A novel? The Last Night? What's that doing here? Did it get stuck underneath the blueprints when I was flipping through my boxes and drawers yesterday? I was wondering where it had gone. The Last Night? It used to be my favorite book. My sister gave it to me as a gift when I was little. A night novel from Kazimierz, huh? Mind lending it to me? Sure thing. So that's where the book on arts unit theory ended up. Sorry, Granny. This might take a while. I can bring it over to you later if you like. Don't worry, it's not urgent. Just means I get to stay on Rhodes Island a bit longer this time. I'll just be over here reading to pass the time. I'm really, really sorry about this. The Last Night. The title is as pompous as it is cliché. There have probably been hundreds of books written about the last night, the swiftest night, or the strongest night. But seeing how the Radiant Knight gifted it to her own sister, surely there must be more to it than that. With that thought, Granny opens it up, only to find a bookmark wedged inside. Written in wobbly Kazimierzan letters is a line that may well have been copied from the book. If you dim the waves to Rakuus, then command the ocean to be still, huh? Legend has it that the last night returned to Iberia. The enemies reflected in his eyes were not living creatures, but rather he charged at the mountains, the cities, and the waves. So, Don Quixote. Or Don Quixote, or however you pronounce it. Legend has it that the last night settled by the coast, sustaining himself on the wind and taking shelter in the mist, until at last he forgot how to remove his helmet. Legend has it that the last night finally disappeared after clashing against the great waves. His family discovered what he'd left behind along the shore and brought it back to the land of knights, burying it deep in the mountains. Oh, the Granny and the Knight's Treasure, the event where Granny goes to find a treasure, and then Skadi is also involved. And I think Skadi grabs part of the treasure or a key or something like that. Yeah, Skadi was involved. So does it all tie together? If so, that would be cool, because Granny and the Knight's Treasure was like the very first event in Arknights, if I'm not mistaken. So seeing that being brought into relevancy is like either superior foresight and foreshadowing, or they just figured out how to continue the story. Yeah, the Granny and Skadi event. Legend has it that his or her story was brought to light by a poet, embellished, sung, given both meaning and symbolism, and in this form they did finally return to the land of knights as a highly controversial figure. However, there are some who believe that the mad knight triumphed over the ocean, over time, over death itself, that his quest continues until the end of all things. What are you? The knight does not answer. His deathly gaze is fixed on Gladia. However, she quickly realizes that he is not actually looking at her. He stares only at the key in her hands. Gah, hiss. The knight opens his mouth as if to speak, but only a shriveled rasp comes forth like the sound of muscle tearing. He begins to take a step forward. Yeah, that's the key that Skadi got. Where did you get that key? No, I did not intend to pry into Rhodes Island's internal affairs, but that is Braugan's legacy, passed through the hands of the four Ferranmuts to once again return to that abyssal hunter. By pure coincidence, one of the hunters found it in Kazimierz. There was an event with Mostima and Nexia. Was there? Yeah, there was. The Laterano event. That I didn't read the story of, but I did complete. I have the story in my archives there, so I'm gonna read it one day. But there was an event focused on Exia and Mostima and the whole bunch of Sancta. Kazimierz, with a distant land. I still remember journeying with my mentor to receive an envoy from the land of knights, and secretly overhearing a few surveillance campaign knights describing their ideals. I hear the country has changed considerably since then. For better or worse, every political entity has undergone similar changes in our current era, but that has nothing to do with Iberia. We are like ensnared beasts. Should we struggle, we suffer and bleed. Should we give up, our lives are forfeit. Before we unmask those still human traitors, I have a new question for you, Kelsey. No doubt you've already realized this, but that child couldn't possibly be Brogan's descendant. The Inquisition would not have missed such a vital clue. So why would you still condemn him to a meaningless death? High Inquisitor! Their numbers are increasing, but none of them showed up until we reached the lighthouse. Sir, I found a way to open the main door, but the Eye of Iberia's core facilities are at the top of the tower, and it's very, very tall. The lift mechanism isn't working either, so we can only get up there by foot. High Inquisitor, we need more time. Take the Jaeger with you. There's no time to spare, Irene. Aye, right away. Wait, hold on. More explosions, Gladia? Oh, are they here? No, the lantern's flames are flickering. Something has stepped into my art's domain. Oh no, the last night. They're scared. Strange, these things never have shown signs of fear before. Confusion then? But what could be the cause? The High Inquisitor raises his lantern high, and the Sea Terror in turn retreats into the shadows of the reef. When he looks around once more, he notices the reef is littered with corroded and broken weapons, soaked with the fresh blood of monsters. Yeah, her sister is included in that event. Arms belonging to the Inquisition. As his mentor Carmen had said, it is not as if the Inquisition had never considered reclaiming the sole remaining lighthouse. Being unaffected by the profound silence, it's been quite well preserved. Even so, the Inquisition has never made a serious attempt to retrieve its own eye following the silence. This place used to be a spectacular overlook, a breathtaking, unobstructed view of the entire city. It had been manned by Iberians day in, day out. But you've taken it as a feeding ground, building a nest for your spawn without permission. Hop. Emotions. Long-lost emotions. From soldier to inquisitor and finally to one who sees the truth. He has been tempered, lost and reforged anew countless times. And thus, Dario became one of the few High Inquisitors in Iberia. Only a single word separates an Inquisitor from a High Inquisitor, but that single word is the difference between heaven and earth. He used to regard himself as resolute as steel. Before Iberia's enemies, his lantern would flicker, his saber would glimmer, and every line of the scriptures would be put into practice. But now, he feels a type of strong emotion welling up within him, one not solely a product of the law and justice that is preached. After acknowledging its rationality, High Inquisitor Dario accepts the fact that he is truly experiencing grief and anger. His hand cannon takes aim at the Sea Terror, yet his eyes are directed towards the sea. When you die, mankind may thrive. These words are not a part of our laws or scriptures, but rather yours. Survival of the fittest. Oh, that's very high-tech. Right here. It's just as the records say. The lighthouse relies on the power source located at its base, and the core column is divided into several areas. The console of this floor controls... Controls what? Signal recording. We should be able to put that to use later, but for now we need to prioritize powering the entire lighthouse. Let's continue. Hopefully all goes well until reinforcements arrive. What's wrong, Doña Irene? It's nothing. Probably just my imagination. Maestro, the High Inquisitor is keeping guard outside. We'll be fine. Alright. After we restore the lighthouse's power system, we should be able to use the lift as well. That way the others will be able to catch up to us soon enough. So, let's hurry. There's something odd about him, some kind of lingering scent. But what is it? The scent of another land, nothing you'd be interested in. He is without a doubt a seaborn, but not the same as Quintus. How is it possible for so many land creatures to become seaborn, though? They shouldn't have frequent contact with the ocean. With no way to communicate, we can do nothing but let his body lose all function. He's about to attack. The knight suddenly seems to vanish in place, but for the senses of an abyssal hunter, catching him is hardly a challenge at all. With his speed, he opts not to attack them, but instead leaps high into the air and bounds towards the lighthouse with a ferocious roar. Roar that I'm not going to try to replicate. Whoa, what was that? Don't panic, keep climbing. Complete our mission, rekindle the lighthouse. Right. These vibrations, are the walls coming under attack? How is that possible? We're already dozens of meters above ground. Do the sea terrors have some sort of cannon? Or maybe some massive creature? But other than the tremor just now, I haven't noticed anything else. Maestro... The knight lifts his head and looks up. The lighthouse did not budge an inch. He shakes his twisted weapon disapprovingly. This long spear, once the creation of a master craftsman, is now inundated with the scent of the depths. He does not see the one standing in his way. The knight bends his knees again, intending to try once more. What are you doing? You contemptuously provoke Iberia, trespass upon restricted area, and damage a precious heritage site. Just look at yourself. Do you have even a single shred of human-born dignity left in you? Dignity? Seems your vocal cords still work at least. The sea doesn't need. Crush the waves, trample the sun, and the pain. Things should not remain the same. The great tree takes root in this land. Your stance, your grey armor, and that spear. You're from Kazimierz. I am. Knight. Slithering steel, ocean's waves. Lifting the lantern won't do anything. There's no sign of any other ships coming. The fluorescent nether-sea brand ignored him. He may well be the source of the sea terror's panic. Then, is he actually a seaborn disguised as a human? You seek to destroy the Eye of Iberia? The Inquisition will not allow it. Yeah, the soil! Now. Good evening, Mr. Knight. Where are the other two? The others? They're currently having a little chat with Mr. Knight's friends. So a fight broke out not far away. Seems like it's a clash of civilizations then. It has nothing to do with me though, so I came over here. You're different from how you were back in Salviento. And also from how you were when we met in Gran Faro. You're always changing. The seawater is sobering. Even the slightest breath of air brought in by the ocean breeze. Although, I do want to return to the sea's embrace, but Skadi stopped me. My little Skadi, she's so scared. But of what? With what's going on right now, I need Gladia's explanation all the more. Mr. Knight, good sir, return to your sweet slumber deep in the abyss. We are not enemies. The knight ignores Laurentina, who murmurs as if singing. As for the enemy, who just dealt him a heavy blow, the knight only tilts his head slightly before quickly snapping his attention back to the towering lighthouse. Alas, how tragic. Language can no longer reach your ears, just as those clouds cover your eyes. Even in your madness, does your will still drive you forward like clockwork, compelling your body to advance? Come then, storm. Let us share this dance. I found it. The main control panel. How's it looking? I'm not too sure. This is more complicated than what's on the diagrams, and I've never actually operated these things before. That sound again. What's going on outside? Perhaps we're still underestimating the dangers we might encounter here. At this rate, holding out for the Penal Battalion's technicians might be... No, even if reinforcements arrive, the sacrifices required to repair the lighthouse under these conditions are akin to setting up a camp under the crosshairs of a high-speed warship. Jordi, you're a civilian and a part of Iberia. For now, I won't ask where you came from or about what happened in Grandvaro's past. We're in a race against time. Right now, this instant, try your best to get all the information out of the Eye of Iberia as you can. Maestro and I will protect this tower, and we... alright, I've managed to retrieve the logs. The panel is still responding, and the energy module underneath the tower is still functional. You act fast. Commendable. What's next? How long would it take to reboot the entire lighthouse? I'll see what I can do. Even though I know the people out here are fighting against the sea monsters, I still have to say this. As long as the panel is still responding, it shouldn't be too hard to restart it. I've read about this in the notes my parents left behind, but this would be my first time actually operating something like this, so it's still a bit of a gamble. Either way, it all takes time. We should probably... guard this place, right? Don't look down, keep moving forward. Phew. What did I get? New logs. And new music. Sure, set as the BGM, why not? Lighthouse Caretaker's Lodge. The small cottage still holds onto signs of life. The calamity struck without warning, the guards stationed here were never heard from again. But now, more than 60 years later, there is still a guard staring out the window at the sea. His body has long since decayed and his eye sockets hollow, but duty is nevertheless duty. Let's flip through the diary. This diary records the years that the lighthouse's keepers spent here. One day, the silent waves swept through everything, and they found themselves trapped here in the middle of the ocean. At first, there was fear and panic, then there was an attempt to escape. Finally, they accepted their fate. Even when dignity, civilization, and all that humans are meant to rely on are cast aside, it is not all that difficult to survive. Whenever one falls in their duties, they become nutrients for another to continue their vigil. The text on the last page of the diary is smudged with water, now barely legible. All that we do, even sin and blasphemy, is not for the sake of our ultimate victory. It is for the hope that our defeat can be slightly delayed. This is the lighthouse the others spoke of, the Eye of Iberia. In Jordi's dreams, these corridors, stairs and panels may once have been tread upon and touched by his parents. Jordi tries to feel an aura of familiarity from them. Countless times he has sketched his parents' likenesses from his imagination, the way they would shuttle between lighthouses. Those few notes left behind correspond to reality, line by line. Perhaps their bones are still interred somewhere in this lighthouse. The thought makes Jordi shudder. Now he stands at the same place, his hand covering the same control panel. Where, then, will fate take him? Jordi decides not to think about these things. He must accomplish his duties irrespective of his identity, his worth, or his beliefs. Jordi stands here for the sake of his unrealistic dreams, and though he may be anxious and uncertain, the one thing he is not is lost. Because he found his way to Rhodes Island.
あなたがそのドクターですか。はじめまして。僕のコードネームはルーメンと言います。 これからはロドスの一員として、たとえ小さな光しか出せなくても、僕の持てるすべての力を尽くしましょう。
Yep, he's a medic operator, and from what I recall, he's a wandering medic. The one, the same as the berries. An extinguished lantern. The Iberian scriptures teach us that the lantern's flame guides the way forward, that the place where it holds is the home we must safeguard. As long as the flame is not extinguished, neither will hope be. But what if it goes out? Be it during the age of Church of Iberia or the age of the Inquisition, theologians have always avoided this question or casually dismissed it with a platitude to the effect of, "The lantern in my heart will never be extinguished." Occasionally, someone with a more New Age conception of faith would shout some sophomoric rhetoric that if the flame ever went out, they'd set their own body alight to reignite it. A pity that such things are easier said than done. The keepers trapped in the lighthouse are also contemplating this question. The conclusion they reached is to continue surviving in the darkness. Same as Whisbrain? I thought he's the same as the berries. Yeah, I know berries are elemental. They heal like nervous impairment, for example. So I thought that since this event is heavy in nervous impairment, Lumen will be able to heal that. But maybe I was mistaken. I mean, it's still cool if it's the same type as Whisbrain. I like Whisbrain, so it's also fine. The small cottage still holds on to signs of life. When the calamity struck without warning, the guards stationed here were never heard from again. But now, more than 60 years later, there is still a guard staring out the window at the sea. His body has long... Oh, we went through that. I flipped through the diary, so let's now rummage through the drawers. Upon opening the drawers, the keeper's belongings can be seen neatly stowed inside. By the looks of it, someone has fastidiously tidied the place. There's a broken dagger in the drawer, no doubt having been in a brutal fight. There's also a pack of tobacco, but no matches to go along with it, which must have disappointed the original owner. There are also a few arts units here that have fallen apart, with signs of having been repaired as much as possible. Additionally, there's a photo, effaced by the passage of time, that is now completely unidentifiable. A small communication terminal is located here. The knob that adjusts its frequency band worn shiny smooth. There are still a few pieces of weathered jerky of unclear origin. Lighthouse control room. Combat. Do I want to go for another combat? Okay, what's the reward here? Polyketon and Oriron. Okay, first, let me grab maybe the remaining headhunting permits. And let me take a look at Lumen. He's a therapist. Yeah, he's the Whispering type. Okay. Yeah, I mean, he's still a great medic. So I don't mind that. But also, out of curiosity, can I level up my berries, maybe promote them? Still far away from being able to promote them, I'm afraid. Can I get Honeyberry to 70? And promotion. Okay, so that doesn't drop from the event missions. Dual chips, I don't think I can make them. I could make 2 if I had catalysts. Can I get catalysts from the Stultifera Navi shop? They don't seem to be selling catalysts this time around, which is a bummer. Module data blocks though, so that's cool. I wanted to check something else. Metal set, yeah, I got the metal for Lumen. Okay, let's use those two triples. Susuro. The Amogus. And Scavenger. Okay, that's fine. Do I have it in me to play one more? Yeah, fuck it. One last, and then I'm gonna end this. And then I'm gonna end the stream. That's a lot. You want a honeyberry? Okay, that's cool. Since I have both the berries, it should be even better. Now, how do I even do that? So many undeployable tiles. I need Lapland, that's for sure. I'm thinking Lapland up here, maybe. Backed by Saria. La Pluma here to deal some damage along the way. Yeah, Lapland for sure. I need a couple more ranged ops. Fartooth, actually. With her second or first ability, maybe even. With her first ability to hit all those dodging guys. Instead of Durnar, I would like maybe another sniper. Chalter. Let's go easy mode. Why not? Let's go easy mode with Chalter. That should just about do the trick, I think. Story. Can't wait any longer? If what Kelsey said was true, then none of us can really afford to wait around. Even while we walk this land, we are still a part of the sea. Those corrupted descendants are in the process of changing the environment. In time, none of us will be spared. All we're doing now is sitting around waiting for the end to come. We're not the only ones sitting around, though, and everyone's reasons are different. Think about it more broadly. Who knows, maybe these lands aren't suited for our survival. Not harmonious enough. There's something I want to try. Time to mix it up. All for the tunes. So, what exactly do you have in mind? Well, we're not exactly accomplishing much over here. Just treat it as a little pre-concert workout. Don't swim too far out, Prost. Workout, huh? What about the rest of you? I think I'll pass. Too lazy. I can feel the inspiration on its way. It's so close, just a little bit more. Alright. I'll be off then. More cultists? No. What did that woman and the Inquisitor do? How could they so easily erase the gift of the sea? Aegir. It must have been the Aegir. What the Aegir left behind. Those strange machines. They must be destroyed. That's right, my brother. The Penal Battalion has this place surrounded, and we've failed to break through. We've nowhere to run. But our exalted prophet has returned to the sea. All that's left is to pave the way for her. If they seek to hold back the tide, then let them dash against the rocks. My life is but one break in a lengthy road. He? Don't panic, it's just me. Why haven't you taken refuge yet? Murthiago, I was drunk out as cold as Gloompincers, so I didn't hear anything. By the time I woke up, everything has gone to shit and these disgusting things were all over the place. What happened here? Has the Inquisition sent anyone yet? What's going to happen to us? The Great Ocean is not guilty of any crime, but the Inquisition does not agree. They control the so-called law and have condemned us as sinners. Soon enough, the sea terrors will return to the ocean. But I cannot allow the Inquisitors to condemn Granfaro to death just like that. What are you talking about? Have you gone mad? Mad? I'm not the one who's mad, I simply need to know. What can we do before the Inquisition destroys this town and rounds up all to stand trial? An Inquisitor has already arrived. I saw that clearly when hiding in a little alley. I've never seen one that old before, and it gave me the chills. What are you gonna do then, Thiago? Go up to them and try to reason with them? We'll have to choose sides again, right? When the Aegir were taken away, most people looked on, just like that. They had a chance to stand up for them, but nobody stepped forward. Thiago, you... Now we have another chance. Either watch the Inquisition put everyone in Granfaro on trial, or... Have you lost your marbles? Inquisitor, hey, Inquisitor, he can handle us all without raising a hand. Take me to them. What are you talking about? Drop the act. How long do you think I lived in this town? Alright, follow me if your goal really is to take revenge on the Inquisitors. Just what are you up to, Mayor Thiago? Almost there. This is already taking too long. Sorry. It's not your fault. It's mine for not having enough patience. Dunya Inquisitor, if you're worried about the others, you can go help them. I think I can handle things up here. The High Inquisitor gave me an order to protect you. As you've seen, those monsters are everywhere. I can just leave you alone. But I don't want to be what's holding you back from joining the battle. As long as you can light up this tower, then the High Inquisitor will have made the correct decision. I simply defer to his judgment. I understand. Did your knowledge of the Eye of Iberia come from your parents? Yes, or more precisely, it's the sum of all of Granfaro's past. They gathered all the best lighthouse engineers in all of Iberia, or at least that's what my uncle told me. The territory used to be demarcated by the Inquisition until it was abandoned after a string of incidents involving the Aegir and the Church of the Deep. I'm not trying to reopen old wounds, but I've been thinking... Before I left, I read the dossier about the sentence handed down at the time. No, never mind. Do you hate the Inquisition? To be honest, if there's anything that always hangs over the heads of the people back home, other than the ubiquitous dark clouds, it would be the word Inquisition. The town once glimmered, giving us the confidence to rebuild our homes. The workers and engineers gave everything they had to fight the disaster, but the Inquisition took everything before it even struck. And do you still believe that today? It's the place I grew up in. Everything I've ever seen or heard has only reinforced that lesson. And, I'm sorry, ma'am. You're simply stating your lived experiences, citizen. It is your actions that will prove your loyalty to Iberia. Still, I'm astonished you had the guts to say all that in front of an Inquisitor. I never would have dared, not until I came here, but then I saw the Eye. For the longest time, it only appeared in my dreams, nothing more than a sculpture sitting in a plaza. Everyone in Granfaro who came before me has passed this all down. Our duty, what we must do, it's all surging through me right now. Ma'am, do you see something glimmering at the base of the lighthouse? Something blue and sparkling like stars? Oh, that's the, deep sea brand, or whatever it's called. That's the Nethersea brand. Do you really think you can fight me, Mr. Knight? You only care about the lighthouse. Why? Why do you cling to it so? Monstrous waves, swallowing the sky. even the stalk of wheat, consumed by silence. All things great and small return to nothing. He can speak, but not command his kin. The sea terrors are in disarray. Let us put an end to this. What a surprise, Mr. Knight. You're not moving like you were before. Those are human movements. Charging wind up unique to Koranta Knights. What exactly are you? The knight continues to ignore his two opponents. His attention is solely on the third. Even with his attack, the towering lighthouse does not even shake. If even the profound silence failed to destroy the eye, what chances does a long night have? It bewilders him. It pushes him to try even harder. Clouds, rolling hills, pillars of ash, arrayed across a hotbed of decay. The tides, unending. You're injured and the sea terrors are drawn to you. So it appears. Get a little scratched up in accident. Step aside. You're no longer fit to fight. Darius' eyes quickly dart across the abyssal hunter in front of him. Her movements had paused unnaturally a few times during the previous clash. He's heard reports about her. She was involved in the Salviento experiments, but the woman who stands before him is completely different from the one who emerged from that fierce battle. Who was she? And who is she now? They've hardly touched you, yet you seem barely able to stand. Maybe an illness you contracted in Salviento. The scent of the sea is rather intoxicating, that's all. Knight, comrade, why must you gag on the air and endure the heat? You'll never taste the fruits of civilization. Ugh. The ground is shaking. Energy, long lost, floods through the pipelines and into the broken body of the Eye of Iberia, prying open its eyelids. It has awakened. The entire island whispers the groans of its first light. Slowly it shakes off its winter, as if waking from centuries of hibernation. The cycle of all existence does not belong to the sea. The knight lifts his head, gazing up from the shadow beneath the great lighthouse. He is perplexed. That is not the monstrous waves. Where are they? Without drawing a single breath, as natural as a shadow slants in the direction of the light, Spectre brings down her weapon. But the humanoid seaborn in front of her avoids it, with logic defying explosive force. In midair, the knight looks far out into the distance. He is listening for the coming of new waves, and he will break them. Ishar Mla. Rocky Nante. Oh, that's a dragon. Oh, it's a Kelpie. Chase. Turns out Mr. Knight is afraid of the light. Don't pursue him. He's not the only Seaborn like that out there. Our only duty is to defend this lighthouse. He's only lost interest in the lighthouse. I don't care about the motivations of monsters. Are you saying I'm also a monster? You? You're undergoing a transformation. I don't know whether this is something that happens with every abyssal hunter, but if necessary, this reef will be the last bit of land you'll ever step on. You would still call this land, when we're clearly surrounded by ocean? Disasters change coastlines, not national boundaries. Every last centimeter of land swallowed by the profound silence is still subject to the laws of Iberia. I'm glad they're using metric. That's cool. Laws, a virtuous word, yet not all creatures recognize this virtue. Ready your blade. Can I fight already? I thought it's a combat node. Just a little bit more. Hurry up then. If this drags out any longer, the lighthouse will be swallowed up by the Nether Sea brand. Ran into a little bit of a hitch. One of the auxiliary structures might have been damaged, but that would take too much time to investigate. Just putting up the core facility will suffice. We still have to retrieve the flagship's coordinates, ideally re-establishing a connection with the line running along the coast. I know, but those things might be even higher up. Then keep going, hurry! No, I have to stay here. Turning on the lighthouse is as simple as pulling the most conspicuous lever, but I need to stay here and oversee the power system rebooting. You should go, ma'am. What? But if you're attacked by a sea terror that slipped through the net, we'll all... I know, but I don't want to come up one step short. Not now. Those monsters, they only lashed out against humans because we invaded their nest, right? If that's the case, they won't keep destroying the facilities. If anything, getting into a fight will only make things more dangerous, so you should keep climbing instead. A conspicuous lever, right? Yeah, it should be obvious. Flip that and at least the main facilities, including the lighting equipment, will start up again. Assuming what the log said is correct. Alright. I'll be right back, Jordy. The console... well, this is it. Nothing on the outside is visible from within the tower. Could the Stultifera really not have sunk? How are they supposed to find that great dreadnought? Is it too late for the Penal Battalion to come to their aid? Are the cultists of Gran Faro hiding even more secrets? Just by pulling down one lever in her hand, all of these questions would be answered. Irene should have been conflicted. She had accepted too much, learned much of the sea, and seen it all with her own eyes. Now's not the time. I hope you're ready, Irene. Bang out! Dazzling light penetrates the ocean, piercing through everything. The light will lead the way. The light can dispel the darkness. It worked! Hey, Jordi, did you see that? We did it! Merda. Oh, French. Iberia is France. Okay. I thought it's Spain, but no, it's France. Yeah, Spain is like... no, not Bolivar. Bolivar is Latin America. What would be the equivalent of Spain? I don't know. Oh no. Wait. Is mierda in Spanish or in French? Man, I don't know. I live in the very same continent and I have no clue. Regardless. I didn't think you still had it in you to appreciate this sculpture. The Eye of Iberia, the offspring of the marriage between Aegir and Iberian technology. On land, each nomadic city can only seamlessly communicate within its own walls. Between cities, however, is like crossing a moat. No system of communication can resolve the interference caused by originium-rich zones. The only solution is to set up base stations that are at constant risk of being destroyed by catastrophes. I hear some countries have already adopted the technology of mobile base stations that navigate on a fixed route between cities. Their engineers are no different from those who guard their lighthouses. Even today, humans still stumble about across this great land, blindly grasping for clues. We must still grope our way across Terra in near total darkness. But what of the ocean? There is no originium in the ocean. The Aegir's communication technology vastly surpasses anything we have on land. The Eye of Iberia is not just a set of lighthouses. It is, of course, Iberia's vision. Very few people know that it was left to us by Breogan as a microphone to connect all of Iberia. It's been a while, sir. Your work was invaluable in allowing the Inquisition to respond so quickly to Dame Calcit's proposal. How about you? Have you enjoyed your time in Gran Faro? Compared to the other cities where our colleagues lay dormant, this place can hardly be considered dangerous. So what have you found here? My sincere apologies, sir. I doubt I know much more than you and the Dame. The order given to me by the High Inquisitor was to monitor Grandfather for more potential enemies, those who would violate our laws and desecrate our country. My conclusion being no, not for the time being. Okay, so the Inquisition has spies in all the coastal cities, which was honestly to be predicted, to be expected, I guess. When the church's cultists appeared, you didn't notify your team in time. Correct. I determined those cultists to be impotent and took advantage of the penal battalion's withdrawal as a prime opportunity to go after the true mastermind. And did you find them? Are there more false bishops presiding over the sea's invasion of the land? Without concrete evidence, I can only speculate as to who their leader is. But Mayor Thiago, a worker from the Iberian hinterlands, is nominally the mayor of this town. Since the Eye of Iberia project was scrapped and the Inquisition made quick work of the traitors in Gran Faro, it's been no secret that he has been appointed critic of the Inquisition. Thiago, one of Gran Faro's laborers sheltering the cultists. It would seem we have our next target, Dame Calci. There's one other thing. Lord Carmen, the penal battalion seems to have come under attack. What? They've invested a tercio just to quash the evil within writhing in Gran Faro to the point that it's a rare luxury to see even a single badge. What could they up against? The Navis brand has seeped through the ground to the surface, drawing a circle roughly 50 kilometers around Gran Faro. And it's a perfect circle, almost as if it was drawn with a compass. It's not the town that's been surrounded, though. It's us. Combat! Finally, SN5. This is the halfway point through the event, essentially. I know that there's 10 main stages, I guess. Oh, those tiles are placeable. That makes my work much easier. Place the berry. Place the thorn boy. Fart here, fart here. Second berry. Maybe up here. Oh, she's getting pummeled. That should still work just fine. And if not, there's always shelter. Thankfully, the Netherse brand can't spread on high tiles. That would be bad. Take you out and place... No, I don't think I need more healers. Pluma should do the trick. Easy. Honestly, I expected this stage to be harder. That's Amiya and Ulpian. We're almost at our destination. What? You never would have reached the Stultifera in one piece without me? The children of the sea would have ripped you apart, crushed you, or bound your limbs as they dragged you off to their nests. Yeah, that's Chalter for you. My very first win in IS2 was because of Chalter. Because I managed to E2 Chalter, and like that's the only thing that helped me win IS2. The final stage, because I could reliably get to the last boss, but the last boss was always problematic. You're not like Quintus. What might you be talking about? My skin? The sack of flesh? None of that matters. What are you trying to accomplish? And what are you trying to accomplish, Hunter? Your kind already loathe your enemies while simultaneously doubting the purity of your own blood, but still, you pretend to be calm. What are you trying to get out of me? Silence? Wise choice. Aegir are not a sociable lot, it is known, but it seems there are exceptions. Or are you just a bit of an unpopular grump? I can answer your question. Quintus wouldn't, nor will other humans. But the Seaborn will. Like heralds, we come to understand things. We are not limited by the way humans think. Oh, so Amiya is a Seaborn. Not even Aegir. Not even like a Abyssal Hunter. She's just a straight up Seaborn. Humanoid, sentient Seaborn. Interesting. That's a pretty CG. I don't need your riddles. For coming here, I was in the midst of translating a literary classic from Ursus. It was about race and nations, about history. I was putting it into Iberian and Victorian. Take a look, Mr. Hunter. Ulpianus's gaze follows the woman's hand, his eyes subconsciously drawn towards the ocean. A pitch-black sea, dense with dark clouds, oppressive. And yet, a vague outline of the starry sky is visible. Even the Aegir rarely look out across the ocean from the water's surface. Different races, different countries. The land is fractured in every sense, and its conflicts are never-ending. But when you look over the boundless sea, do you see anything representing those divides? Those damn monsters. Jordi, are you alright? You get away from me. Oh, hello. Seems like activating this facility has made these poor creatures realize that this place doesn't make a very good nest. High Inquisitor. Keep ascending, Aegir. Your hands are for wielding tools, not fire and steel. The plan is unchanged. Go with Irene and find what the Inquisition and the Hunters are seeking. I know. Please be careful. Do you really think we can find that ship? It can only pass through Iberia. I don't understand. If it is a place like Rhodes Island, why hasn't it tried to return in 60 years? We too are lost, unable to find a way back home. Is that not so? The children are increasing in number. Are you alright? Me? Why do you ask? You didn't speak a single word on the way to Iberia. Have you always seen me as a chatterbox, Skadi? Skadi stares deeply into Spectre's eyes. When she finally found Laurentina on land, her eyes were clouded over. Then she saw it in Salviento, a fragment of Laurentina as she was, but it was short-lived. After returning to Rhodes Island, she seemed to have fallen back into the abyss. But now, Skadi begins to find herself unable to distinguish which corner of Spectre's mind she is currently dealing with. She has an ominous guess. One that has always swirled through her mind. What's the matter? No need to overthink this, Skadi. And the same goes for you, my sleepy little mermaid. We don't have much time. You will awaken. Will I? You will. For the time being, go with Shark and take out the small fry. Their numbers are endless, so remember to adjust your breathing and conserve energy. You should already know that I prefer it that way. Must we be in such a hurry to perform again? The storm is not yet ready. But it seems our dance partner won't be kept waiting. There's no end to them. Doña Irene? You're still alive, so that flash of light was from the High Inquisitor's lantern after all. He wanted us to continue on, but what exactly should we do? We keep searching for the ship's location? I was originally planning to wait for the technicians to arrive, but seeing how you got this big fella started all by yourself... Make every second count. Thiago, so you're finally seeing clearly. Why haven't you fled? The Penal Battalion and the Inquisitor have been lying in ambush in town. Then why haven't you proud townspeople returned? The Inquisitors have already taken away all the confused, directionless residents of Gran Faro, and you already know what's going to happen to them. You know all too well. But I can't sit by and watch Gran Faro go up in smoke. I have to do whatever I can. You fight the Inquisition. Fair enough, Tiago, but that will only hasten the town's demise. Iberia will never tolerate an act of treason. While we welcome all into our fold, but the weak do not have that right. This determination of yours is but a sick joke your mind is playing on you. You understand nothing. Who do you think you're talking to? Who? If I cared enough to investigate, you would have been flushed out by the penal battalion long ago. Tell me then, what can people like you offer Gran Faro? In the end, this town is a mere human settlement. What we seek to offer up to this land is a much higher calling than your meaningless baubles. You've been followed. Ha! This sea terrace have pretty sharp. Oh, ha! This sea terrace have pretty sharp senses. An outsider? We will allow it. Your flesh and blood shall become nourishment for our wounded. We all give back to this land. The nether sea brand has already reached this far. The walls, the stairs, it's all over the place. Are you still not done yet? They're getting closer. Almost there. How does this make any sense? Even after all these years, the signal receiving devices are still operable, but why? How? Oh, the logs. Whoa, there it is. Now, let's take a look. Their numbers are exploding. They're moving through the nether sea brand as if they've merged with the ground entirely. So, like Splatoon, essentially. At this rate, even Maestro and the hunters won't be able to stay in this branded place for much longer. Damn it! Underneath us, Jordi! What? Continue. Okay. Abyssal hunters. You're too weak. Swarms like this require swift movements. Spare yourself the energy to breathe. Like so. Ugh. How much longer, Aegir? There are no records in the logs of how to operate this information terminal, so I have to keep searching. There's some data here. I don't understand what it means, but it keeps popping up. Keeps popping up? Even if that's from the Inquisition's last attempt, that should have been years ago. I'm not sure. I assume the data loss was caused by a power outage, but if my hypothesis is right, there's a ship that's been sending signals to this lighthouse for decades. Stultifera Navis, I'm assuming. What? How far away is it is? I know, I'm looking. Where are the navigation records? What is it? It's very close. How can it be so close? Wow! What happened? I'm afraid the underground portion of the tower has been swallowed up by the nether sea brand. We need to make out our decision now. Decision? What decision? If we have the means to locate the ship, then we will go. No, we should eradicate the sea terrors to ensure that the penal battalion's reinforcements can arrive safely. Impossible. You will merely wear yourself out before the stronger prey can even join the hunt. Or do you mean to say that Iberia has hundreds upon thousands of people willing to hold the line to their dying breath, like the High Inquisitor below us? No, but opportunity waits for no one. Have you confirmed the coordinates? I can determine an approximate range, but I don't know why it's spinning around, or if that means it is being kept afloat by aberrant ocean currents. See that square surrounded by seaboard? That's what the ship looks like now. But that ship is the only vessel we have. You can have it. We don't need it. No. Go with them. High Inquisitor? What did you just say? The Eye of Iberia has already been activated. There should still be some working safeguards in place. Lord Carmen will arrive to purge the evil remaining along these shores. We don't have time to waste on these endless hordes. Then I'll stay with you, sir. No, you ought to accompany them. You should go see the ocean. What saved your life, what let the rescuers find you, wasn't me. It was the scriptures you hold in your hand. Make the right choice. Do not bring shame to Iberia. Understood, High Inquisitor. I will become Iberia's eyes and return the Stultifera to our country's embrace. Then go. I look forward to seeing the moment you pass down the correct verdict. Yes, High Inquisitor. You should leave too. Go with them. Sir, I don't want to. I want to stay here. It's too dangerous. I don't know a single thing about that golden vessel. The best I could do is bask in its magnificence, but I don't think that's where my duty lies. This might be a strange thing to say, but I only felt my own worth when I was exploring this lighthouse, so please let me stay here. Exactly 100 down, but nothing has changed. They're like stars in the sky. Breaking the encirclement would be simple, but defending the lighthouse, how long would we be slashing away? What a fine, colorful carpet they make as their carcasses dissolve. A carpet of life. Ah, this must be the most beautiful carpet in the land. True, the nether sea brand is spreading, which means... Their weapons cannot burn them, but mine can. That's only a temporary solution. Cauterizing the tips of the seagrass won't stop it from growing. It's good enough. Grab your people and get out of here. Steer the ship out or you won't be able to get your bearings. You realize what that means? You don't need to tell me, Aegir. Very well. Do your best to survive, High Inquisitor. Shark, Scuddy. That's the ship. Yes. And that's the key. From Granny Event. After so long spent waiting on land, we are finally able to return to Aegir. Gladia's words slow to a halt. Her hand caresses her neck. On her well-concealed skin is a patch that is rough to the touch. Scales. The ship is right in front of her eyes. No, don't be hasty, Gladia. The ocean is still dangerous. Otherwise it would not have trapped the 3 hunters ashore. But without a doubt, her heart is smoldering. They've left. That's right. Which means we're stranded here until the Penal Battalion's reinforcements arrive. You've done well, Aegir. So we've earned the right to answer a question. Okay, I swear to answer truthfully. Did you make your own decision to leave the shore and come here with us? You're just an ordinary person, janitor or whatever. You're no warrior. If you can wander out to the sea, let alone witness a battle against the sea terrors. Yet, look, your expression doesn't shake at all under the light of my lantern. What are you thinking? What do you want? I can't even remember ever seeing my mother or father. Everyone always told me I'm an Aegir and that we came here to repair the lighthouse, but it's all ruined. Before all this, I didn't know a single thing. I was lost and confused. To be honest, when the sea terrors came, someone told me to leave as soon as possible, but truthfully, I didn't even know where I could go. Because I'm an Aegir, all I can do is keep my head down as I trudge through life, and just so you know, I'm actually a chapel nurse, not a janitor. But that doesn't really count as work, does it? All the things Mr. Elysium talks about, the way he acts, maybe that's what it really means to live upon this land. That's why I felt like this was an opportunity. Are you not afraid of death? I don't think there's anyone who isn't, sir. I should be frank with you. The nether sea brand has already completely engulfed the coastline. We don't have much time left. Oh. Lord Carve and Dr. Kelsey may have their methods, but I'm not so optimistic. When the others left, we were basically condemned to death. Is that why you insisted on me going with them? It's too late to regret it now. You chose to defy me of your own free will. But even if you die here, your death would be by no means meaningless. You're not shaken. Haha, just a little bit, maybe, but even if I went with them, wouldn't I still have 9 to 1 odds of dying? As long as I stay here in this lighthouse, I can at least feel like I've already... Don't be in such a hurry to give up. The Eye of Iberia should have its own defenses. Go start them up. Alright, but where will you go? Now, we're alone at sea, far from our homeland. Again and again we arrive in this little reef, the weight of our lives and of our vessels so much heavier than the place itself. Between the ocean and Iberia, there is no such thing as justice or evil. Only sword and lantern. Only me. Finally! Jesus Christ, that took a while. That took a hot minute. Okay, what do we have here? Ship's wake. Oh, I can go to the next segment, I'm assuming. Over the cabinet's swaying doors, and a complex-looking device can be found resting inside. A thin line of Egerian text along its side reads, Housekeeping Assistant Module. It seems to fit into one of the slots on a little handy. It appears to have been carefully stashed here at some point. But where did it come from? New component. Housekeeping Assistant. Oh, cool. So I can either use the Hand of the Saint to remove Nethercy Brand, or I can keep it bouncing between walls. Okay, I'm gonna set it to be removing Nethercy Brand so far. For now, rather. New minutes. What's new in the backpack? Housekeeping Assistant Module manual. The Housekeeping Assistant Module component will enhance the efficacy of your home's cleaning specialist. Change the mode etched into its core and it will cleanse the dust in your home and the filth in your soul. Please attach it to the corresponding slot on your little handy today. The Hand of Saint is a battlefield support device distributed by the Inquisition to particularly harsh frontline battles, carrying out the will of the Saints by sweeping away all impurity. Additionally, reports that these devices were confiscated from the Aegir Islanders are merely rumors. Please be sure to distinguish fact from fiction. Another treasure! In a half-opened safe sits an outdated nautical chart, once used by the old Iberian fleet to conquer the seas. The crystallization of their explorations through the mist. Unfortunately, it is now nothing more than scrap paper. A few other miscellaneous items also sit at the bottom of the safe, with nobody left to use them. Staircase. And that means Gran Faro has been completed in its entirety. Now, what awaits us is Lost Flagship. I'm not even gonna click anything because, let alone it starts some cutscene or something. I'd rather not. I'd honestly rather not. Just gonna spend my monies. Grab stuff from the base. Who's tired? Moose and Gitano. Yato and Orchid.
Please send me somewhere that sunlight can never touch.
Everybody. Gravel, Jessica, and Cardi. And is there a place for you to be resting? Sure, you can rest here. And you can rest here, I guess. Someone gave me a clue. Thank you for that. Gonna check my recruitment. Melanta. Spot, of course. Bunch of 3 stars. Popcar. And probably Orchid. Orchid indeed. Any interesting tags? Fast redeploy, I guess. Also slow. I'm gonna do fast redeploy. That's a guaranteed 4-star at least. AoE slow. Let's see what that does. And that's gonna be it. It was supposed to be a 2-hour-long stream. Ugh. It turned into 3 hours, almost. So, I'm gonna end it. Gonna eat something and go to sleep. It's high time for me to do that. So, that's gonna be it from me for today. Leave a comment down below. What did you think of this stream, of this story of Arknights and stuff like that? Like this VOD if you liked it, dislike it if you disliked it, but tell me why so I can improve. Subscribe to the channel to be notified of future releases of not only Arknights streams, but also my reactions and discussions of the Arknights anime and other anime. Support me on Patreon, Throne, if you want. Patreon, $10 a month to get early access to non-seasonal shows, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. Good night, unmeaning sweep 22. And what else? Subscribe, support me monetarily or non-monetarily. You don't have to spend money. Share my content, spread the word. That also helps the channel a lot. And with that, I'm gonna end it here. So that's gonna be it from me for today. And as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers!